I'm doing a review of Neverland Tails. Neverland Tails is an Australian fabric tail maker. They do ship worldwide, but they're based in South Australia. I now have a couple of their tails and I wanted to share my experience with them and show you guys what the tail's all about. Before we get started, I just want to say I am an ambassador for Neverland Tails. This means that I promote their items and I get a small commission when people use my discount code. But this video is not sponsored. I bought these tails with my own money, and yeah, it's gonna be an honest opinion. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there. Not sponsored, but kind of affiliated. So I have two tails from Neverland Tails now. This was the first one I got. This is the Agora tail. This is one of their like signature tails. It has really big fluke. They're available in like a bunch of different designs. There's like Halloween ones out at the moment. There's lots of different like realistic fish, and then there's some more like kind of crazy ones. This is the one I picked because I'm obsessed with rainbows. So yeah, I had to go for that. These tails are designed for vinyl in them. I have my vinyl out so I can show you what it's all about. But yeah, so that's the vinyl that goes in the tail. Very similar to like finfo tails or like old swimtails tails. Anything that has like a big fluke, most of them have vinyl in them. The vinyl for the Agora is quite thin, and I'm going to be using some comparisons to my finfolk tail because that's just the other tail I have that has vinyl in it. Compared to the finfolk, this is quite thin, it's fairly floppy. That does mean it's like super easy to get in and out of the tail, which is nice, but I do notice that it doesn't sort of stick together the same way as other vinyl tails I've used. Like it just kind of, sometimes they sort of come apart. Once you're in the water it doesn't really matter, but like getting the monofin in and stuff can be a bit tricky sometimes. These come with Velcro pieces, so it comes pre-cut with like a few holes. I'm not sure if that really shows up very well on camera. I'm trying to find my points. Pre-cut little holes, and when I spoke to Neverland, because I originally put my linen tail in, my linen monofin in it, she said cut your own holes if you need to, so I have made some less than pretty cuts in here just to adapt it for other monofins. The recommended monofin for these is the Mahina, which I ended up buying one literally just for these tails, and I definitely recommend the Mahina. It was a lot more comfortable in this tail than the linden was. Still works with the linden, but you might need to finagle the vinyl a little bit more, and I just kind of am lazy. So if you're not familiar, this is the Mahina monofin. It is a rubber monofin. It is quite flexible, but also has really good propulsion. So yeah, I bought one of these secondhand to use in these tails because I wanted to have the best experience, and that definitely was more comfortable than using the linden, which I do still love the linden for other tails. As for putting the monofin in the tail, I'm going to insert a clip of me doing that sped up. It takes me about 5 minutes. I will say that this was probably the harder tail I've had for vinyl. I think it's mostly the zipper length of the Agora tail is quite short. So that's the zipper open the whole way. It's only probably 35 centimeters or so, compared to other tails I've had where the zipper sort of goes all the way up to like the ankle area. So this does mean you kind of just have to like bend your monofin a lot more, and it can get a little bit a little bit frustrating, but it does go in eventually. So yeah, just one point there, that it would be nice if the zippers were a little bit longer, but also with these like fancy dangly flukes and things, I can understand why they've chosen to just do a shorter one now. As for features on this tail, I got the full fin set. When I first purchased this, there wasn't an option for no fins, but there is now. So if you only like some fins, you don't like any fins, you can choose whichever options you want. So this one does have all the fins that are optional, I believe. We've got these really big, nice side fins at the top. They're very, very beautiful. They don't have any boning or anything in them, but they do flow really nicely in the water. And then this one also has little side fins down by the ankles, which are really pretty as well. I love the shape of these. The scale pattern on these is really beautiful. It blends really nicely through the colours. It's quite unique, and I think it flows really nicely. They do sort of have like this design anyway, so it has like a cutoff of the black there into the fluke, but the scales actually do keep going down into a little point, so I think that's just the design of this tail specifically. The other tail that I got from Neverland, I only got like 2 days ago, so I've only had one swim in it so far, as opposed to the Agora, which I've taken out probably half a dozen times. This was a custom mini meg design. The difference between the mini megs and the like signature tails that Neverland does, these ones are made just for the Mahina and they don't have vinyl in them. So they have an open bottom fluke, like the old classic like fin funs and things, so you just like smush your monofin in there, There's no zippers or anything, and they actually stitch the shape of the mahina into it, so you get a little bit of an extended fluke, but your monofin doesn't like float around or anything. It sits in there really nice and snugly. Custom mini megs are not currently an option on the website, but hopefully, potentially in the future, if there's interest, there will be. But I'll admit, I probably got a little bit of special treatment because I'm an ambassador. And I was like, I want a custom tail, but I don't want something with a giant massive fluke because I'm sick of vinyl. So I got this design made up. This is based on the mahi-mahi fish, and I've always wanted a tail based on one of them. So yeah, Josie and I worked together on this tail design. It has some really beautiful fins as well. I love holding it like this because it literally just looks like a mahi-mahi fish without a head. Yeah, beautiful dorsal fin on this one, and little flappy side fins, which I love. The other custom tail options that they do have available on their website are custom big tails with the vinyl. I believe they have two options. You can either get like a pre-existing fluke design, or you can go fully custom and design your own fluke and everything. My experience with the custom design was very, very seamless. It was very easy. I went to Josie with a base design that I like doodled on my iPad. It wasn't professional looking by any means, but I was like, this is kind of the shape of the fins I want, and like these are the colors and the kind of patterns. And she took that and rolled with it. We went back and forth a couple times until I was 100% happy. And yeah, it came really fast, and I was just super, super impressed. Like I said before, the colors are exactly the same as the digital mock-up. I don't know what printer they use, but I'm very, very impressed with the colors. The fabric feel on these tails, I would say, is somewhere in between like a Mertailor guppy on the lower end and the Finfolk fabric on the higher end. It's somewhere sort of in the middle of that. It's not thin by any means, but it's not that really like cushy neoprene sort of feel that the Finfolks have. It's sort of just like a really nice thick spandex feel. It's like really thick bathing suit material, but it's not see-through at all. It's very like soft, it's very comfortable to wear. No issues really there with the fabric feel. My friend Mermaid September asked me about cleaning of these. It's like any other fabric tail. I'm really crap at cleaning, so don't come to me for cleaning advice. But I just put them in the bathtub and rinse them until they stop smelling like chlorine. So far that has worked fine. But yeah, no issues with cleaning so far. I haven't had any stains come up that I've noticed. I've taken the Agora out in the ocean a couple times, but yeah, I haven't noticed any spots or anything come up, and yeah, it still looks really nice. Got very minor pilling on the kind of bottom of the fluke, but I'm just not very careful with my tails, so that is nothing against the company because I just like to bash mine around because I don't know, I want to have fun in them. So the wear and tear is very, you know, akin to the stuff I do with these tails, and yeah, definitely not anything worse than any other tails that I've had. One thing I know a lot of people are hoping for is more like in-person photos on the website, and I completely understand why you would want that. You definitely want to be able to see a tail sort of more in person than just like a digital file, but I will say that the colors on these exactly match the digital files. There is nothing that I was like, oh, that came out like a bit different or a bit faded. Like, they're literally exactly the same as the digital files, so don't worry there if you're sort of tossing up like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna be as bright as it is on the like digital file. They come out exactly right. It's very impressive. But yeah, hopefully in the future there will be more like in-person photos of each design on the website as well. So my friend Nerdmaid Faith asked me what the tail was like to swim in without vinyl, and I hadn't actually tried that yet, so when I took these tails to the pool yesterday, I made sure to try it without the vinyl, and I was expecting it to be like draggy and like floppy looking, and I was like not gonna be impressed. It was so comfortable. I actually think that if I take my Agora to the pool again, I'm not going to take the vinyl at all because it's so cumbersome, and then you have to clean it, and then you have to dry it, and then you have to get it in and out of the tail, and it's just such a frick around. I definitely recommend, if you're not experienced, make sure you use the vinyl. It does sort of help kind of give you a bit more propulsion, especially if you're in the ocean. Don't use this without the vinyl in the ocean. But in a pool, once I got used to this tail, especially with the mahina, which fills out the fluke quite nicely, it was actually really comfortable. It felt really like flowy, and it was kind of a bit of fun just to do it without the vinyl. As for the cost of the like signature tails with the vinyl, they do range from $530 to $620 Australian dollars. That range includes whether you get fins or no fins or some fins or all fins, and then you can also purchase with or without the vinyl, which changes the price as well. If this is your first tail with them, I definitely recommend getting the vinyl, but if you're purchasing like another tail that has the same fluke shape and you've already got the vinyl, then you probably don't need to order another one. You can save like 50 bucks. So the pricing there is a lot cheaper than other options for Australians, especially once you factor in like exchange rates and things. Like people paying like $1,200 for like a Finfolk fabric tail, so it's definitely a better price option for Australians. If you're in the US, the prices come to around $340 to $400 US, which is pretty cheap, I think, still for a tail in America. I think most of the, without the conversions, other tails are sort of like around the $300 to $700 mark for fabric tails in the US. The shipping is a little bit expensive from Australia to the US. I believe it's about $100 shipping, $100 US shipping. So once you factor that in, you might be looking about $500 for one of these tails to get into the States. I'm not sure about other countries. I just use the US as a base because I know a lot of you are from America. But yeah, that's sort of a base there. You can always do like a little shipping estimate on the website and check what it's going to cost you. But it really puts it on par. Even overseas, it puts it on par for other tail brands. It's not going to cost you an extra arm and a leg to get it across the other side of the world. So definitely not just a tail brand for Australians, definitely worldwide. I want to see these shine. Overall, I want to give my experience with Neverland Tails a 9.5 out of 10, only because I feel like if I give a straight 10, it's going to seem like I'm biased because I'm an ambassador. But I swear, this is my honest opinions. I've taken these tails to my pod meets and they're all very impressed as well. The quality is beautiful, the price is really reasonable, and the customer service is out of this world. Anything that you need, you can contact them. I know that they've done like slight sizing alterations for pre-made designs, things like that. So if you're really like skinny and tall and you want something that's a bit longer, you can do that. Any questions, Josie is there, her team is there immediately to help, and I couldn't say anything bad about the customer service. It's been really, really impeccable. If you have any other questions about these tails, my custom one or my Agora, or the company itself, anything, let me know in the comments because I'd love to answer more, and I hope that you're as impressed as I am because I'm obsessed with this company. Yeah, so you'll probably see more from me in the future, but about these Neverland Tails. But yeah, again, if you have any questions, let me know or contact Neverland directly. They'll be happy to help. And yeah, thanks for watching my review today, guys. Bye!